日本時間3日、エンゼルスの大谷翔平は敵地オークランドでのアスレチックス戦に2番指名打者で臨み、2打数ノーヒット、2つの申告敬遠を含む3四球という結果に終わり、連続試合ヒットは4で止まりました。両リーグトップだった申告敬遠は21個となり、メジャー6期目で自己最多となりました。本塁打も出ず、今季最長の9試合連続ノーアーチとなり、エンゼルスも1対2で敗れています。またこの日の試合で、5回と9回に2度の申告敬遠で歩かされた大谷は、バットを軽く上に放り投げて不満をあらわにしていました。予想はできたものの、悔しさの募る展開で、無言の抗議を見せる大谷の姿を見てファンの不満も爆発。
そらそうなるよ。大谷、申告敬遠されすぎでしょ。ホームラン数を伸ばすチャンスをゴリゴリ減らされる。さすがに申告敬遠が多すぎて腹が立つ。最下位争いで申告敬遠するなよ。大谷翔平のホームラン王、打点王の2冠に最大の障害は申告敬遠。
など、落胆や憤りを見せる投稿が相次いでいました。また、X 上では申告敬遠がトレンド入りするほど議論は過熱し、申告敬遠という制度に対し、
そもそも申告敬遠制度って正直どうなんだと思う。リーグ側からすれば時短対策なんだろうけど、打者を歩かせるのに投手が最低限必要とする4球の労力と時間を節約させることによって、大谷のようなスラッガーを歩かせることができるようになってしまっている。そもそも時間短縮によって野球の魅力を高めるのが狙いのはずであったのに、申告敬遠制度が結果として野球の魅力を減少させているのではないか。本末転倒とはまさにこのことであると思う。 MLB は今季客離れを防ぐためにピッチクロックを導入したりしているが、この申告敬遠も1試合につき1回だけとかにすべき。そうしないとファンは離れると思う。私たちが見たいのはピッチャーとバッターの真剣勝負であり、勝負を避ける姿ではない。
など、様々な声が聞かれていました。
殿堂入り名投手スモルツ氏が大谷の今後について言及。私は大谷の二刀流が好きなんだ。
日本時間2日、大谷マニアとして知られる FOX スポーツアナリストのベン・バーランダー氏のポッドキャスト番組に、通算213勝154セーブで殿堂入りした名投手ジョン・スモルツ氏が出演し、大谷は2回目のトミー・ジョン手術を受けるべきか、大谷のクローザー転向案など、大谷翔平の今後の展望について議論を繰り広げています。
So we haven't yet talked since the big news of Shohei Ohtani. Obviously, a tear in his UCL, will no longer be pitching this season. I mean, first, what was your reaction to hearing that news?
Well, like everybody else, I was super disappointed for him. I hate to say I'm not surprised anymore with the way that guys are throwing, that there's so many more Tommy Johns, and we're just not blinking an eye. We think it's normal. And I hate it because it's a contract that's now going to be a little bit different. It's a guy that had tremendous stuff, but he's throwing 94-mile-an-hour splits and sliders and 99-mile-an-hour fastballs. I mean, I just don't know how the body can withstand that kind of torque that he has, not to mention playing every day. The guy's a freak. And I know it's going to be around the discussion of what's he capable of doing and what should he do. But I hate it for him because he's the best player in the universe. And certainly that's going to impact his contract moving forward.
What's next for him? I know you might not know specifically, obviously, but he has a tear in his UCL. What do you imagine he does? Do you think we continue to see Shohei pitching do you think we see him back on the mound in his career?
I think he's going to try everything he can to get back on the mound. I would be very, very creative in my negotiations and have 2 contracts ready for him. One for a position player, one for pitching with some incentives. I would assume he's got to get it repaired. I wouldn't think that he could go without getting it repaired, and that's another year of not throwing. But time will tell on that. The fact that he can still hit, which is amazing, being his lead elbow, I guess it doesn't open up batting left-handed. But, again, we've had so many. Just think about the last 15 years. We talked 25 years ago about guys getting Tommy John and our head would drop. Now they've perfected the surgery to a point where we've seen people come back from 1. Now we see multiple people having 2. That's not normal. That should not be happening in our sport. And nobody cares. Nobody listens. Nobody does anything about it. And the doctors have been trying to warn teams and players, but you know what? Until we have an expiration date on this thing. I don't know if it's going to turn around anytime soon.
Johnny, your name with this Shohei situation has come up a good bit because the conversation becomes, well, maybe he should just do what John Smoltz did and go and become a dominant closer and see if that works out. One, for different reasons that you ended up becoming a very dominant closer for many years. But would that be an option possible for Shohei? Would that help anything if it's just one inning back of the bullpen and not starting? What would be your thoughts on Shohei if he comes back as a pitcher doing it in the ninth inning?
Yeah, I think that's a possibility. It would be very quirky on when he would come up to the plate and when he would have to get ready. Batting in the eighth doesn't promote, or batting in the ninth, it'd be hard to go down to the pen or throw underneath. I guess he could throw underneath. There's one way to do that, but in a perfect world, the way he's been doing it would be great, but that's going to be a while now. So time will tell to see what and how they utilize him. I've always felt like if you were in the game as an outfielder and then you came in to pitch like a National League style, but they did away with, I just don't think he's going to do anything quite like that. So I hope he comes back. I hope he still tries to pitch, and I hope he gets himself in a position to do both again because he's been doing it at such a high level.
これからも大谷の活躍から目が離せません。皆様からのコメントもお待ちしております。